Hey everyone, welcome back to Just Got Fired. Today we're going to talk about optimizing the job interview. These strategies actually work for other types of interviews, not just like regular 9 to 5 job interviews. Things like auditions or meeting up with new business partners. People that you're trying to show who you are and what you're all about. For instance, I've personally used these strategies successfully in the very recent past when promoting my new business. Now, the place where I want to start is with this statement. And it's a very simple statement, and it's a very direct statement. You have to be true to yourself even during an interview, especially during an interview. A lot of people, myself included, actually have a very hard time verbalizing what they want to do, and one matches their individual personalities. It's really, really hard, to quantify personality. And there's so many tools out there that claim to have the answer. Right? I have personally tried DISC, Myers-Briggs, Pymetrics, Plum. I worked for Plum for a while. Now, the one that I can honestly recommend to anyone out of the ones that I've tried is Plum, for a number of reasons, but mainly because Plum forces you to prioritize behaviors. So out of the ones that I've tried, Plum is the only one that actually forces you to prioritize a behavior, not just kind of set fives down the line for every single one, which is kind of ridiculous. I'm not going to explain how to take the Plum assessment. That's all on their site, but go do it. Go take the Plum assessment, the discovery survey. Take your time. Take your time to do it, because ultimately, even if you've done DISC or Myers-Briggs or Pymetrics in the past, you really cannot know too much about yourself, right? Now, what I found out through these assessments is that personally, I am direct. I like to make personal connections. I like to entertain. I like to make people laugh. I like to make people think. And most of all, to see and interact with their genuine self. I like to help people discover what is their genuine self. What are the things within them that drive them to success, that wake them up in the morning, that they look forward to. So that's just for me personally. First, before we go on, right? You've already taken the Plum assessment now, hopefully. Now, I want to tell you, right, what you absolutely should not do in preparation for or during an interview, right? So now that you know all about yourself, you've applied to a few jobs, you've gotten those interviews, you've gone past the screening, and now you're talking to the actual managers, to the hiring team, right? What should you not do, either in preparation for that interview or during that interview? And it's pretty simple. Don't lie. Don't embellish. Don't pretend that you can be somebody that you're not, right? In my case, I used to think that I can be corporate when I'd rather just be laid back and chill, right? Now, the trouble is that we think other humans, the people who are interviewing us, we think that they want to see how professional we are. Nobody cares how well you leverage information to solve problems. Nobody cares how good you are at finding synergies to maximize profits. Well, maybe they care about the profits, but that end can be achieved in different ways, right? You're going to hear a lot of business speak when you're working for companies, especially if you're working in sales or in customer success or, those areas that actually interact with customers. You're going to hear those terms, leverage and synergize and blah, blah, blah. All right. Nobody cares about that. Okay. I want you to listen and listen really, really well right now. This is the important bit. All humans want the same thing, and that is a connection with another human. People want and need to make connections with other people. And the more genuine you are, the more truthful and open you are, the more direct and to the point you are, the more people will see that. And they will connect with you on a very, very deep level, right? And out of the 20 people that they're interviewing for that position, you're going to stand out from the rest because you were actually real. You showed up, and you showed up in your own skin. You didn't put on a mask. And nobody is giving you this advice because nobody thinks that it works. When you look at interview preparation sites, they're all like, well, how should I answer when they ask me, tell me a little bit about yourself? How should I answer that? Well, you have to think about what you've done in the past that relates to the position. No, you don't. Tell them about you. Tell them about what motivates you, what drives you, what wakes you up in the morning. Yeah, maybe they expect to hear how your past experience applied to the current job. But really, that's not what you're there for. They've looked at your interview. They've looked at your LinkedIn profile. They know what you can do. They know what you've done, at least in summary. And the reason why you're there is because they think that you can do the job. And now you have to convince them that you can do the job. And the real you has to show up that day and tell them the things about you that make you you. Right? So nobody is giving you this advice because nobody thinks that it works. People basically advise you to put on a mask when you go to an interview. But this advice does. It absolutely does work. And putting on a mask might get you that job, but it's also the thing that's going to get you fired. Case in point, this guy. In the week following my getting fired, which was, I guess, last week or 2 weeks ago, I kind of lost count. So in that week that followed me getting fired, I had 3 interviews. And truthfully, they actually all kind of came to me. Because I posted the thing on LinkedIn, and of course people reached out to help, and it was great. Those interviews came to me, and it was awesome. But during every single one of those, I told them, every single person, I told them straight that I am not actually interested in what they have available, right? What they have open. I did tell them what I am interested in doing, and where I can actually help and add value. And all those conversations ended on a positive note because we understood one another. We didn't beat around the bush. We were real people making real connections. I even canceled an interview because it's just simply the wrong job for me completely. Could I have shown up to the interview and ready to wow them and get the job? Probably. I do a pretty good job of selling myself. I can make stuff up, right? Even if it's not really real or it's halfway real. But I no longer want to sell a fake version of myself. Because that fakey fake doesn't actually line up with who I really am and what I'm passionate about and what I want to do and achieve in life. You have an opportunity, right? You're watching this video because you've been fired too. And you have an opportunity to do it right the next time. So your homework, you ready for this? Your homework is going to be continuing from last chapter, chapter 4, when we talked about our passions. I want you to take that list of passions that you created and look at your top 2 choices. I'm not talking about like the top 2 in the order that you made them, but the top 2 that actually spark something in you, spark some joy or interest or energy. Look for those top 2 choices on that list And for those two choices, I want you to define which of the choices do you think you will be able to do successfully, and which of the choices will actually make you happy. Ideally, they should be the same, but they might not be. So really think about that. Which one of these will make me successful? Or which one of these will I be able to do successfully? Whatever success means for you. And which one of these choices will make me happy and fulfilled at the end of the day? Then think, and think really, really hard, and answer this question. Which one of those things do you actually want to do? Do you want to be successful? Or do you want to be happy? Or do you want to be both? What makes you special? What motivates you? What drives you? Successful? Or happy? Or both? And then, how do you take your personality quirks, traits, and apply those traits in doing that something that's going to make you happy and that you can do successfully, right? Because you have your own personality traits. Every single one of us is unique in our personalities. There's no two people who are the same. We might be similar, but not the same. So what makes you it's the thing that you apply to those passions, to put them into action, right? So lots of homework, right? Because you got to do the Plum Discovery Survey. You got to do your top 2 passions. You got to think, which one will I be able to do successfully? Which one will make me happy? How do I apply my personality traits to doing either or both? Lots of homework. So there won't be another video probably for another week, because this week is kind of busy for me. But the next video will actually be the final video in this series. And I wrap it all up and we say goodbye for this particular series. There will be other things that I'll be working on, of course, after, but I want this to end because it's a natural end to our discussion. Until next time, go do your homework, but most of all, take care of yourself and be kind to yourself. See you then.